Hi there, this is Sherry at RedeemingVitality.com, and I want to talk about cold and flu and the best things you can do. But first, if you don't know who I am, I'm Sherry at Redeeming Vitality, which I already said. I am a board-certified holistic nutritionist and clinical herbalist. I want to talk about the number one thing, first of all, the number one thing you can do for cold and flu, especially if you want to do this naturally, is number one, prevention. Preventing a cold and flu is better than curing a cold and flu. So there's lots of things you can do for prevention. One, of course, is everything I talk about, and that would be real food. But there's a lot of other things that you can do, like vitamin C is good for prevention. Elderberry syrup, vitamin A in high doses, particularly right before fall. But you can do that now. If you don't have it, you might be. That's almost like a flu shot. There's lots of things that you can do, and that leads me to number two. Most important thing for the cold and flu, and that is prepare. So prevention and preparation certainly go hand in hand. Some of the, if you want to do this naturally, some of the herbs and supplements and stuff that I'm gonna that I want to tell you about and what I want you to do are things that are difficult to get locally. I mean, you can get them locally, but they're more expensive. If you can buy them in bulk, that's way better than getting them. Well, certainly I like you to buy stuff locally. Buy food locally. Buy it from your farmer. But right now I want to talk about some herbs and spices that might be difficult to get locally. If you can find them locally, great. But I'm not talking locally at your store, locally at a national branch. I'm talking about more locally at a farmer. Is someone growing it? Maybe you're growing it. Even better. So there are lots of things to do. A lot of the things you want to do before you get sick. Often we, as Americans, we tend to well, let's not fix it till it's broken. Unfortunately, when it's broken, that's not the time to be like, oh no, I need this. And you're you're comatose and you're trying to get to the store to get this, and you're paying 200 times as much as you would have if you would have just made it in the first place. So have that stuff made. Some of it you need to keep in the freezer if you don't think you're going to get sick. Keep your elderberry syrup in the freezer. That's unlikely, but still, you can keep it in the freezer in little elderberry pops. Awesome. And it's also preventative, so it's not even something that you would necessarily just have when you were sick. Great thing to make. Actually, it's pretty easy, and you can buy the elderberries, the dry elderberries from the store in bulk, and it's quite reasonable that way. I mean, I think it's 4 times the cost, or so. 4 times less than the cost you'd buy those tiny little containers. Because when you want elderberry syrup, I'm talking about a tablespoon for an adult and a teaspoon for a child. So that's a lot of elderberry syrup, and you're gonna rock through that little tiny bottle pretty quickly, especially if you have a big family. Make it. It's so much cheaper. It's less than a quarter of the price. Anyway, I wanted to announce that I have finally composed and got together my herb cold and flu course. It's a course for beginners. It's not hugely, because when you get into herbal healing for cold and flu, it really gets into what type of cough you have, what constitution you are, what kind of thing is going on with your sinuses. There's particular herbs for each particular thing. I'm talking about the general health. This is the low level, minimum what should we do. And that's what I go through. I have a little bit of teaching, like 46 minutes of teaching, broken up into 4 sections, so you don't have to sit there the whole time. You can write it down, and then you can listen to it again, and then you can listen to it again. There's a handout, and there's all kinds of instructional videos on how to make this quick and easy stuff you can do at home. This is not a substitute. If you're dying of pneumonia, please do not get this and expect, you need to work with someone, particularly, specifically for what you've got. Go to the doctor, find out what you have, and then work with someone, okay? But this is the general, predict everyone gets at least one cold. Maybe it's little. If you prevent it, you'll get a lot less than if you just wing it. So this is the basic kind of introductory level, and it's right now it's only $7, guys. I mean, you're gonna save that much on your elderberry syrup. In fact, you'll save a lot more than that on your elderberry syrup. And I go through videos, step-by-step instructional videos, plus there's a printout, plus there's a page that that after you pay, it takes you to the page, and you can go back to that page, because I'll be updating that page, and so it's kind of a perennial, you get free updates kind of page. So anyway, it's a great idea, and it's going to save you tons of money on cold, because once you get a cold, you're willing to pay anything to get rid of it, right? Well, get prepared, prevent it, and you're going to save oodles of money. Anyway, have a wonderful day, and stay well. Bye.